Hi, seventh graders. It's Miss Yeager here, back to do the third part of Chapter 1, Lesson 1.2. And today we are going to be looking at the simulation that's included in this unit. So our objective today is that you will explore the simulation model for this unit. The simulation models an ecosystem. So we've spent a couple lessons this week learning about the biodome and ecosystems and the people who are going to be living and working inside the biodome. And so today we're going to be looking at a simulation that models an ecosystem. So your agenda for today is to watch the Edpuzzle. It's going to give you directions and modeling on how to use the simulation. Then you're going to go to Chapter 1, Lesson 1.2, and you're going to go to the third tab, which is the Simulation tab on the Amplify website, and complete the tasks that are there. And I will walk you through all of that in this Edpuzzle video, so make sure you watch it all the way to the end so that you know what to do. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to click on the Amplify website that was attached in the Google Classroom assignment. You are going to log in with Google. And you are going to log in with your PA Google account. And when you log in, it's going to bring you back to this, and you are going to choose this unit, Matter and Energy and Ecosystems. From there, you are going to choose Chapter 1. And then we are on Lesson 1.2, Investigating a Biodome. When you click on Lesson 1.2, we have already done these first two tabs. This is the work that we did on Monday. This is the work that we did on Wednesday. And we are over here for today's lesson, which is the sim. So you're going to go ahead and click on the third tab. So in here it says exploring the simulation. We are not going to be working with a partner, obviously, because we are all separated. So we're just going to modify this a little bit. So what you're going to do is you are going to explore matter and energy and ecosystems, the simulation, and you are going to share what you notice. You want to be thinking about what do you notice about the changes you can make in the sim, and what questions do you have about the simulation. So right here, we're going to go ahead and we are going to click on this simulation. It's going to load. I do not have an iPad, so I'm going to click no. And then as it loads here, this is going to just be a chance for you to kind of play around like we have in the past when we have first come into contact with one of our simulations. So the first thing I'm noticing is that we have the sun, so it looks like we can adjust the sunlight. We have carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It says abiotic matter. We have producers. We have primary consumers, secondary consumers, and decomposers. So it looks like we have 80 decomposers, 4 secondary consumers, 10 primary consumers, and 40 producers. We can see that we have energy storage molecules. I'm remembering those from our previous unit. These are the number of energy storage molecules that are in the dead matter. So remember when they're talking about the biodome, they were burying their dead matter under the ground. This also connects with what we do in real life, like with our landfills. We bury our matter that we want to decompose under the ground. I'm also noticing, let's see what this does. Okay, so that just logs us out, so that's not much. And then I see that we have a button to click play. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to click play, and then I'm going to hit pause right away because I want to see what I'm looking at. So I really like in this simulation that they have some examples around the producers. So producers are plants. So you can see that we have corn, we have some different leafy greens. These are all plants that are surrounding the producers, so that kind of clues us into what those are. Then we have consumers. Consumers are going to be eating the producers, and so we have things such as rabbits. It looks like a mouse, a squirrel. This might be an insect, a snail, a caterpillar, and a bird. So these are all consumers. Then we have secondary consumers. So these are going to be omnivores and carnivores. So these organisms are going to be eating the consumers, and they also might be eating the producers. So we have, it looks like a fox or a wolf. We have a snake, a spider, a scorpion in the secondary consumer section. And then for decomposers, you can see that we have some bacteria, we have a worm, some mushrooms, fungus. All of those are decomposers. Let's see. Let's see what these symbols, these little items up here, that looks like carbon dioxide. Our energy storage molecules are down here. Oh, and also down here. So that's interesting to keep track of. I'm also noticing that there's a way to graph so we can keep track of the carbon atoms. Okay, so the different colors. So this is the top one, that's the dark blue, are the total carbon in the ecosystem, total carbon atoms. The purple are abiotic carbon, and the light blue is biotic carbon. So when you combine these two categories of carbon together, you're getting that total up at the top. So that's important to understand. Oh, and it looks like eventually we're going to be able to make some changes to the sun. Kill, I'm not sure what that quite means. I think I kind of saw that in the simulation, but I can maybe look at that a little bit closer. Burning, trapped, and bury. All right, so that's graphing the carbon. Looks like we can graph processes. So energy storage molecules used over time, energy storage molecules produced over time. Okay. And then molecules. So this is showing us carbon dioxide, energy storage molecules. Let's see. This must be overall. And then the yellow is in living things, and the pink is in dead matter. So it's really important that we're not just looking at the letters that are here, but we're actually looking at the key down here so that we know what the different colors mean. All right. So if I close that out, okay. So here's a kill. So it looks like we can kill consumers. We can kill decomposers. Maybe not. So when those die, they get buried in the dead matter. Burn. Okay, so you can burn some of the dead matter, and it looks like that releases carbon dioxide. It looks like we can play with the level of sun, low, no sun, that makes sense. So you can have no sun, low, medium, and high, and we can just see how things play out. I'm noticing that they're categorizing everything down here as biotic matter because it is living. And then the section up here in the atmosphere is the abiotic matter that is not living. All right, we can speed it up. Kind of cool. We can view the cell. Okay, water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, energy storage molecules. If you want to change it to Spanish, you can change it to Spanish. Okay. So I'm going to go back, and it says, what did you notice about the changes you can make to the sim? What questions do you have? So if you have questions about the sim, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go back to the Google Classroom post, and I want you to post them in the student comment section below the post. So if you have questions about the sim, you can post them there. Students, if you can answer each other's, that's great. So that's just like a space for you guys to kind of talk about this since we can't talk about it in person. So that's all you need to do for the first bubble. Then you're going to click on the second bubble. So this is where you're actually going to have to record some things. So this is observing energy storage molecules in an ecosystem. So this is going to be by yourself. You are going to observe the sim and see if you can get any evidence to help you answer the question, where do the energy storage molecules in an ecosystem come from? Okay. So our big question for this chapter is, why are the plants and animals in the biodome not getting enough energy storage molecules? And so a way for us to figure that out is to determine, where are those energy storage molecules coming from? So this is going to be a little bit more difficult than if you were with a partner, but it's very doable. So listen carefully. So you're going to open the sim, and I would recommend, instead of, you don't have two devices. So you're going to open the sim on your computer, and what I would do is I would take out a separate piece of paper, and if you're having a hard time remembering this, I would write this down on a piece of paper so you can fill in your yes or no answers, and then you can transfer it into this table. So again, I would have your simulation pulled up on one screen, and I would have this table just roughly drawn out so that you can record your answers and then input them onto this table. So what you're going to do is you are going to observe the sim. You're going to pay attention to how the energy storage molecules are moving throughout the system. Where are they going? In the table, you're going to record what you observe about the flow of energy storage molecules into and out of different parts of the ecosystem. And again, after you complete the table, we're not really going to have the ability to discuss it, but if you would like to talk with someone else about it, feel free to. So let's look at the producers. So the first question says, does it contain an energy storage molecule? So I'm going to look at the simulation, and here's our producers. Does it contain an energy storage molecule? Yes, I know the symbol is that, so I'm going to type the word yes. All right. Energy storage molecules flowing in. So I need to hit the play button to see this. Are energy storage molecules going into the producer? Yes, it looks like it's coming from the carbon dioxide out here. So yes, you can see that energy storage molecules are being added to the producer. So I'm going to hit pause here, and my answer for this one is yes. Then the next question is, are energy storage molecules flowing out of the producer? So we're going to hit play again. Yeah, I can see that there are two places where energy storage molecules are coming out of the producer. The producer, they're coming out here and going to the consumers, and it's also coming out this way and going into the dead matter. So I'm going to hit pause there, and my answer for that one is going to be yes. So now you would look at the consumer. So this one says contains energy storage molecules, yes or no. So you would look at the consumer and you would answer that question. Then when you're doing the flow in and flow out, you're going to have to press the play button to see if those energy molecules are flowing into that part of the ecosystem. And then you're going to have to do it again to see if they are flowing out. So you're just going to go through, and I should just see simple answers here of yes or no. When we're talking about the abiotic matter, the section you're going to be looking at is up here. So there are 5 parts that you're looking at: producers, consumers, decomposers, and dead matter. Producers, consumers, decomposers, dead matter, and then the 5th one is the abiotic material. When you are done with this section, you are going to click hand in, and that's it. That's all you're going to do. So make sure you've answered all the questions in this Edpuzzle. If the directions are tricky, go back and rewatch it, and then complete the simulation materials that are in Matter and Energy and Ecosystems, Chapter 1, Lesson 1.2, the 3rd tab. Make sure you are looking at both bubbles, and then you are handing it in. I hope that makes sense. And as always, if you have questions, shoot me an email or a text message, and I'm very, very happy to help. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye.